willing to fight. So yeah, we hear you. Um, he was up against a guy that was willing to fight, like against Nakatani versus Teofimo. Like that's just that samurai, that warrior in him wouldn't relent. Like he just wouldn't go nowhere. So he was there
Yeah,
to fight, and he made Teal look regular in that fight, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you're gonna have those
nah,
type of fights. The only thing I think that separates Teo from other guys, or at least certain guys that I believe in, is their skill set to dig deeper and pull out different things and display them on
yeah,
the night of the fight. And in that fight, we just saw Teo try to just bull rush and,
yeah,
and, and hit a guy with one or two shots, and Nakatani just wasn't
definitely.
going nowhere. So I think against
Yeah.
Loma, it'll be a. I just think Loma just will just outwork him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Loma's going to beat him, and I think actually I'm predicting Loma to stop him. I think
Really,
Loma, yeah, because I think Loma wants to be able to say, well, Nakatani gave Teo all types of fits and problems, and not only did I beat him a lot worse. And I think he's trying to force his way in there to get that rematch with Teofimo because Teofimo can't get Josh Taylor because Josh Taylor's like, I don't respect you. You're not undisputed. I got bigger fish to fry. And he can't get Devin Haney because Bob Arum just said he's not fighting Haney. He came up with some cockamamie excuse
he don't
about,
want him to fight Haney. We know that.
you, you got to wait 90 days. I don't like Eddie Hearn. He came up with all these, excuses as he always does. He doesn't want Taylor to fight Devin Haney because he feels it's a fight he could potentially lose. So the way he looks at it, of course, he keeps all the money if it's in-house and it stays at Top Tank. So I think Teo's going to have a rematch with Lomachenko, and I think he'll lose the rematch. I think that's what's going to be in store after if he gets past Cambosis, and that's if because he's having issues making the weight. He didn't have COVID, dude. What they say. So he couldn't sell tickets, and he struggled making the weight.
So
So
I already knew it was going to be a ticket issue the moment they said the fight got canceled for that
yeah,
particular date, because you're trying to fight on days where there are already fights going
right.
on. Not to mention that the Charlo fight wasn't even a pay-per-view fight, So that
Yeah.
says a lot about him and his ability to sell tickets. But
Yeah.
along with Teo, like having that day, like no one's paying for that fight. I heard those tickets were selling for like $20. Like no one was
Yeah,
buying.
nobody's paying for the fight. And I think Till he overplayed his hand after the defeat of Lomachenko. He beat Lomachenko, but he didn't beat Lomachenko up. He didn't destroy Lomachenko. He didn't dominate Lomachenko. He hung in there tough and he won one more round. And
Yeah.
I think he took that and he overplayed his hand. And I think when you overplay your hand, you run the risk of coming up short. And I think that's his issue. ESPN was trying to, sell it hard. No, he is undisputed. Who cares about Devin Haney? But Devin Haney's his own boss. He's fighting. He's got the respect of other fighters, and there's a lot of competition. I mean, you got Ryan Garcia, who knows what he's doing, but you got Tank. You got Devin Haney. So he just can't suck up all the air in the room, and he's kind of getting exposed. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
he threw
Yeah,
himself out there way before he was actually the big fish in the pond. He
yeah,
got the belts, and he
mm-hmm.
ran before he could walk, and it's coming back to bite him in his ass.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
even when your promoter's saying things about you, in your business acumen or lack thereof, then that just goes to say a lot. And when Bob is frustrated with someone, he just comes out and says what he feels,
Well,
especially
you
at
heard what he
night.
said, right?
What do you
You heard
say
what Bob
now?
said. When he was being interviewed, I think it was a Fight Hype or Fight Hub TV, one of them. They were like, well, who do you see next for Teofimo? He said, look, he's got to get past Cambosis. He's doing this whole thing over there with Triller. I thought he should have went a different route. He was like, essentially, he named some other guys who were low level, and then he said, well, hey, I personally think the fight with him is a rematch with Loma. That's the fight I think he said to make. And they were like, but he said he wants to go for undisputed. He wants to fight Devin Haney. And then his immediate reaction was, I don't care what he wants. And then he stopped and he was like, well, that business is hard to get done. It's not going to get done because, Devin has his own promotional company, and then Eddie Hearn, and I don't like Eddie Hearn, and you got to wait 90 days. There was a whole bunch of excuses. It was bottom line is just like with Bob with Bud, there's just fights that he's not going to let his guys
No,
take.
and he's holding on to what he can while he can. So he's doing the best. He's trying to do the best job with that. I don't know, man. It's interesting that you say Loma knocking out Nakatani. That would be interesting. That would be interesting to see. It's not that Loma can't do it. Like, I believe Loma can do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like he'll just go for an easy win by outmaneuvering this guy, out quicking him, and just breaking him down, man. Just using all the skills that he normally has, and just embarrassing this guy.
I agree that I think he's going to start early because, again, I think he's going to take away two things. Number one, prove that the shoulder is healthy. Number two, he's got a point to prove because people like, has Loma lost a step? Is he really the man? And I think he's going to look to not only embarrass Nakatani, but stop him and prove to himself, like, I got to be a fast starter. I got to go out here and I got to do things. Now with Nakatani, I don't think it's going to be a one punch, and knock him out. I think it's going to be multiple knockdowns, a couple flash knockdowns, maybe one hard knockdown. And I just think the corner will throw it in because eventually, like, okay, he's taking too much punishment, and the fight will stop. Yeah. I think the fight's going to be stopped. And I predict somewhere around probably like the 11th round. 10th, 11th round.
Okay, and I could go along with that. We need to see the engine starting right away with Loma in this fight anyway, because I don't think no one's gonna tune in and go, "Oh, this is what we want to see from him," unless he was like fighting in the UK or something like that, or somewhere close to home. But he would have to start early and often to make sure that he got the result he was looking for, even to just have a really good fight. But I plan on watching it because it is on ESPN, or ESPN Plus, so I will be tuning in to watch that fight. The next fight or the other fight. Hey, did you pay attention last week? Speak on this, how while Jamal Charlo was fighting, they made sure they waited and they pushed out all this filler and other stuff on ESPN to kind of wait it out, and then they let Inoue fight. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, of course, I'll watch that. They don't want those main events to be competing with one another. So yeah, you clearly saw that. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was like, oh, that's smart, so I would turn back and just watch it. I was like, okay, I see what they're doing.
And it is smart. It's smart from a network perspective, and it's also smart from a consumer and a viewer perspective. I appreciated being able to watch both main events in their entirety.
Correct. Because I was sitting there, I was like, okay, so after like 10 minutes, I was like, well, maybe he'll come out in 10, and then 10 minutes went by and he wasn't, no one had came to the ring. So then I was like, well, all right, cool. Well, maybe they'll get it together in another 10 minutes. And when I came back, I was like, oh, I know what's going on. They're trying to wait it out and let Jamal Charlo get his fight over with. So that way he can gain all his pay-per-view and do all his numbers and everything. Not pay-per-view, but do his numbers. So I salute that, man. And like you said, it keeps me from having to turn back and forth and miss any action, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it is.
So the next fight would be Barrios-Davis versus Barrios, El Azteca. Who you got?
I've got Tank.
Stoppage?
I've got Tank by knockout. I've got Tank by knockout in the 9th round.
So you're basically saying that this guy is he's going to engage with Tank, like he's just going to try to make it a fight.
Look, he's got a good trainer in Verge. I just think Tank is the type of guy that makes you fight at some point because he can box. He'll box with you, and his boxing skill is good enough to kind of lure you into, a war. And I think Barrios, I've seen his other fights, and he's not the hardest to lure into a war. So I think he will get a little confident, just like Santa Cruz did, try to get off into the exchanges. And I think he's going to get caught in between punches in those exchanges. And I think his lights are going to go out.
That's a big dude, man, at 5'10", 5'11".
He's big, but Tank has big power. Tank will go to the body. The body is right there. So he's taller, but that's a lot of body to hit. And I don't think Barrios doesn't have a jab like, say, like a Devin Haney. So I think Tank is just going to slip underneath those, kind of Tyson-esque, slip underneath those jabs. You know, he might get popped with a couple straight right hands. He got hit by, by Santa Cruz with some right hands. But, Tank is always calculating to deliver that death blow. And I don't see anything different. I don't see anything that Barrios has that he's going to be able to keep Tank off of him. And while Barrios is tall, Tank is short and stocky. He's built like a tank. Yeah. And I just think he's going to walk Barrios down. And I just think he's going to do that calculation like we talked about. And I think he's going to explode on him.
Something happened recently. I think Mario Barrios or someone in his camp said something recently about them knocking out.
It was his coach. It was his coach. They said they're going to hit him till you see the white meat or something like that. Something crazy.
And then
Tank's camp.
Yeah.
His coach, they went off. And so Tank was like, okay, well, I'm always going to keep my cool. It was respect, but now you made it personal. So, not that I'm going to go wild on you, but I'm going to look to put a little bit of extra pain.
Yeah. He will inflict maximum damage now. It will be more of like that come forward, bobbing in, that Tyson style slipping punches and then getting in and cracking them. So yeah, good luck. It should be a good fight, man. I can't wait to see it.
Key to the punch, right hook to the body by Tank, overhand left, and then I think Barrios and all that body work, you're gonna think is gonna make Barrios lean over being a taller fighter, and then you think that uppercut's coming. I think Barrios is definitely game and looking out for that uppercut because of what happened to Santa Cruz. But I think Tank just gets all the way on the inside, and he'll shoot some uppercuts, but I think it's going to be the overhand left in that in-between mid-range distance. He's going to catch Barrios with as he brings his hands down, protecting the body.
I think it's going to be I was thinking more so like just a beating into the body. I think that was just more of my thinking, just because it'll just be there, and Tank will just eventually wear him out. My other thing about this is if he was trained correctly, Mario Barrios was trained correctly, he could keep Tank outside at distance, but I don't, because El Azteca is such a, like, he's a warrior. Like he's going to want his lick back. He can be drawn into a fight and scrap, but I would like to see him make Tank work for it. Just make him work for it. Like, don't let him get to the inside, push him off, grab him, hold him, push him back, and just box him. Box
I'm pretty sure.
And from what I understand, not just Verge, but from what I understand, Andre is in there trying to show him how to do it, and do that Virgil Hunter style correctly. But it would be nice to see, and I would like to see somebody make Tank box or make him adjust. But the only thing about that is this is the perfect fight for Tank, to me, for him to just let loose and just hurt someone. Like other fights, he gives guys a chance to catch up with him or get their rocks off. But this looks exclusively like a man on a mission to like punish and hurt the guy and break him down, especially now after hearing something like, I'm going to bust your head to the white meat or whatever. So,
yeah. Well, and that's what a matchmaking is in. They knew exactly what they were doing when they did this matchmaking. They knew Barrios's makeup. I think Barrios will try. I just still don't think he has the tools. Like the physical attributes are there, but I don't think he has the requisite tools to consistently keep Tank off of him. The other problem with Tank is that when you do try to say, okay, I'm gonna clinch as he gets in close, he's so short. There's such a height disparity that as you clinch, the body's still right there when you clinch. Because you're clinching, you're holding up here. Tank can easily drop his level and still shoot some body shots, even on the clinch, until he gets all the way tied up. With that height disparity, it's going to be really hard to tie up. That's a 5-6 inch height difference. It's hard to tie up a guy's arms like that.
Well, I think more so he won't try to do it that way. He'll probably just try to hold his head down and keep him from swinging. I think he'll do more of that.
He'll do that, and then what'll happen? It'll be that dip bam that overhand left. He'll
Yeah,
lean
I don't
in
think I don't think
to
he'll
it.
be. I don't think he'll be too worried about that. A guy like Tank, when he's that short, you would just have to grab him and push him down. And Tank always, if you ever watch him, he kind of just stops when you bend him over like that. When you bend his
He'll
head.
do it, but I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure in his camp they know that Barrios is going to try to, command the real estate and try to get physical with him a little bit, push him off, and look at some of Tank's training. It looks like they have him in there with the moves to disengage and shoot some short shots.
If he at
So
any
we'll see.
points tries to like bully Tank, that's when I know Tank is for sure. Now he is not gonna take that shit. He is not about to let nobody bully him. I know that for a fact. That would be the perfect storm for him. Like you try to bully him in the ring, that would be perfect for him to let loose. That would be perfect for him. There's supposed to be another card on the zone. I'm not familiar with it because I didn't pay attention to what they had. I just got the emails a little bit earlier before we started, but I didn't pay attention to the card. Did you at all?
No, I haven't. With the zone, it's like the only guy watching the zone now, like Devin Haney, or maybe Andre, even though his last performance was kind of lackluster, but I'll still support him. I really don't watch any of the other fighters on the zone. I mean, who else on there is any good that that's where it's a card, but I mean, because there's other cards going on.
It's a bunch of
those.
yeah, it's a bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm a boxing geek, so I'll probably tune in just to watch it at some point in
I'll
time.
watch it. I mean,
But I just don't know who's on the card. I just don't know who's on that card.
And I know it's probably early in the day because the fight is probably over in the UK, so that'll be on like around 1:00 early afternoon our time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I've been disappointed with the zone and their content lately in terms of some of the fights, the matchmaking, and there just hasn't been enough crossover with competition with him. I mean, Bob is a problem all in itself, but you still get a Fury Wilder. That's top ranking, PBC. So yeah, we'll see.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think of Charlo versus Andrade?
I think it's a good fight. I think it's one of those fights where one or two things are going to happen. If Andre wins, he wins by decisions and he outpoints and outboxes Charlo. If Charlo wins, it's because he either knocks down or hurts Andre, a couple times in the fight, or he stops him. I don't think Charlo can outpoint Andre as long as we get the Andre that's engaged. Again, Andre can be weird. He can be really good the first few rounds, and he seems to just kind of take the foot off the gas. He'll start getting some successful, landing some shots. He picks his shots very nicely. He mixes it up very well, and then he just doesn't put the foot on the pedal. And if you don't put the foot on a pedal with a guy like Maul, eventually he's going to catch up to you and inflict some damage. And that could be an issue for Andre. So that's a 50-50 pick 'em fight, in my opinion. Conventional wisdom says Andre outboxes and outpoints him and wins by decision, but we've seen Andre not be the most focused. And that would give Maul a chance to land something big or hurt him. And so that's why I call it a 50-50 fight. More so due to Andre not being focused throughout the entire fight and being on his A game the entire fight. And he would need to be on his A game in order to beat Maul.
But in fights that count, that's the only time you see him really focused. Like when he fought Willie Nelson, he was more engaged and he got Willie Nelson out of there. That's the same guy that knocked out Tony Harrison and everything. But it's just these fights that are just like, I'm fighting because I need a fight right now. I need a pay. I want to make a payday or whatever, and I need a fight. These are the guys, Luke Keeler or whatever, Artur Akavov, Liam Williams. Like these guys are guys. It's just like he goes in there,
whatever his name was.
Katandakwa, those guys. Like he's fighting these guys and he can beat them, but he's not getting nothing out of it. So he tends to disengage. I think he's a level fighter. I think him and Maul are level fighters to me. They kind of just fight to the level of the competition.
Yeah. I agree with that. What I will say is they will both bring out the best in each other. when they fight, because I think, there is a rivalry there.
Mm-hmm.
There is some personal animus there. And I think they know whoever the loser is, even though you can't really count that out on some moves he's made, but the loser of that will never get the Canelo fight for sure. So there's a lot on the line on that fight. So I think both guys will come with their A game and looking to impress and fight up to a high level. Number one, to prove who's the best between the two of them, because they've been at it for years. And then number two, it puts you in much better positioning for the Canelo sweepstakes.
Yeah, and all that started with the brother. That was Jermell. It was supposed to be between Jermell and Andre, and now it's up into the big brother's hands. I would like to see the fight, man. I think they should stop circling the wagons and just go ahead and make the fight. It would be a good fight.
Yeah.
I think we would get both of them at their A game. It would be a high level chess match until, like you said, Charlo decides to lean in and pop his ass. And I think Charlo hits a lot fucking harder than the majority of these guys that he's fought lately. So I don't see him standing in front of Charlo just trying to tee off on him or anything.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I just think it'll bring, like I said, I think it'll bring the best out of both of those guys. I know why they didn't fight, and I get the conventional wisdom. It's like, okay, we see what Canelo's doing. Same thing Crawford's doing, right? It's like, let these guys pick each other off and bang each other up, and then whoever's left standing, then I can have the benefit of acting like I beat everybody because I'll get the last guy standing. That's kind of like Crawford's thing with Earl. But again, you lose a lot of leverage in that situation. And I just think at some point you have to do your own thing and not worry about Canelo and make the best fights for yourself.
That's it.
And make your own brand. And I think I hear Maul saying that, but now he's got to do it. So to me, that's the only person I want to see him fight. He's not getting the Canelo fight next, even though Canelo just said Jamal's time is coming. I heard he said that, but that's, that's in one ear and out the other. But to me, the only person that's worthwhile for him fighting, and it would be a unification, would be with Andre. And that would really, because Triple G is not going to fight them. Munguia, maybe he's talking, he said, hey, I'll fight, but who knows? Just fight Andre, man. These guys just need to get it on, man. That's a big fight. That's a big fight for both of them. That's the biggest fight for both of them that both of them can make right now.
Correct. And it would be a money fight. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's the biggest fight. Like some real money would be made on that fight. Even if you did it in Houston, Dallas, or San Antonio, Austin, Vegas, wherever you do it, I think that would be a really good fight.
Yeah, that fight would probably end up being in Vegas, most likely, because Andre probably wouldn't want to be in Maul's backyard in Texas. You can make it from an arena standpoint. You can have the same type of arenas in Vegas that you do in Houston.
True.
I mean, the only difference maker in Texas is Jerry's World. That's the difference maker.
Yeah.
And I don't see that fight happening there.
Yeah, but I think it would be a great fight. I would love to tune in and watch that. Hell, I would probably even go out to go check that fight.
Yeah, I would definitely go to that fight. That would be a good fight. And I'm pretty sure they'll probably have a decent undercrowd on that fight too.
Yeah, hopefully.
So hopefully. Who knows?
Yeah, you don't.
But yeah.
Because that would be what the cross promotion if they could make that happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because then you have a DAZN fighter fighting, PBC fighter. So it's just a matter of, working out the network situations and stuff like that. But let's be honest, the fight would end up being on Showtime because, Jamal is bigger with Showtime than Andre is with DAZN. So, maybe they do dual cast, maybe so DAZN subscribers can watch it on DAZN and Showtime people watching on Showtime. And
I'm sure they could figure that out. I'm sure they can figure that out.
It's been done before. I mean, so they'll figure it out.
Do you think that's a pay-per-view fight?
I don't think it should be, but I think they can sell it as a pay-per-view fight because it's a middleweight unification title fight.
I think they should just throw it on regular Showtime or DAZN.
I think they will both. Yeah, I think they will both benefit if they did it.
Yeah.
Non-pay-per-view. I think they will both benefit immensely from putting it on, just regular Showtime and DAZN.
Yeah, because Maul's last two fights, Derevyanchenko, and then this fight was just on Showtime. So that
Yeah.
says that to me, that tells me how Al is thinking about them business wise. Even though he did
Mm-hmm.
sell 10 to 11,000 tickets, I know that he's
Mm-hmm.
looking at it like, well, until he fights someone worthy of a ticket like that, and he can bring in those type of crowds, we'll just put
Yeah.
him on Showtime.
Yeah.
For what I
Yeah.
understand, his brother's fight is supposed to be a pay-per-view fight, but they changed it to a regular Showtime fight.
Yeah. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's just a regular. I think that unification is a regular Showtime fight, even though, yeah, I think that's a regular Showtime
Yeah.
fight. No, I know Javante's a pay per view, but that's a heck of an
No.
undercard on it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That
Javante.
that's definitely worthwhile. So, yeah, I think both of those guys, the only fight either one of those guys can get would be a pay per view is if it was with Canelo.
Yeah, definitely. And you say Canelo will probably have to come over and do a deal, right? With
Well, yeah,
PBC.
Canelo's a free agent in the sense he signs these fight deals with different networks. So if he was going to come over and fight Maul, he would do a PBC deal. So that fight would be on Showtime pay per view.
Okay.
It could go
Hold,
Fox or Showtime, but Maul is on Showtime, so I see Showtime having an inside track on that with doing Showtime pay per view.
Jose Benavides Sr. posted did you see what he posted? The
About
picture,
Maul,
yeah, him and Jamal and David face to face. He said this would be a fight I would love to see. Did you see that?
yeah, I've seen that. They've been really trying to push that, and I get it. I think I wish Maul had better PR people to deal with that. I mean, in a sense, look, there's weight classes. Benavidez is kind of punching down. I get it because he's trying to get a name, right? He's trying to get a name, and that Maul would make for a great fight, right? Because Maul is not going to just lay down. It'll be blood and guts. But Benavidez to show the best of himself, and hey, if he knocks out Jamal Charlo, the middleweight champion of the world, with WBC middleweight champion of the world, it looks great on his resume. If I'm Maul, I'm like, look, Benavidez is a good fighter at 168. I'm looking to rule the roost at 160. If David wants some of this smoke, he can come down to 160.
I say do a catch weight. Meet me at 164. Just meet me at 164.
I don't do a catch weight. I say come get me a 160. And the reason why, I'm gonna tell you why I do that.
I know
I
why you
do
do it.
it.
I know why you
Yeah,
do it. I know. I
yeah.
know.
I do it because number one, he's not gonna do it. He's not gonna come down to 160 and fight you. So now that takes that conversation away. And number two, I think you don't do a catch weight because I think when you fight the guy, if you're gonna do a catch weight, maybe these guys are too young. Maybe some years from now you do a catch weight fight because you guys are both like potential Hall of Fame fringe fighters and you're greats and you're just trying to make it happen so people can see it. At this stage, look, both of these guys have work, unfinished business in their own division. So to me, there's no need for a catch weight fight.
I hear that.
Benavidez needs to, get Uzcategui out of there. He needs to go see about Caleb Plant. He needs to go see about Canelo. He needs to go see about people at 168. Maul needs to see about Andre. He needs to get Triple G to either get up out of there, Munguia. So before I see a catchweight fight, handle your business at the weight class you're operating in already.
Jay, I hear all that, but you opened your mouth, Charlo, and you said you was gonna break my neck, Benavidez. You said you was gonna break my
Right.
neck. He's an
Right.
old school fighter. He ain't gonna let up off that.
True. And he's not. And I wouldn't expect him to let off that. And if I'm Maul, I wouldn't change my word. I say, yeah, I'll break your neck. But this is a business too. And I got business at this weight class. So if you want to be about some business and getting your neck broke, come to 160. That's what I say if I'm Maul. If you don't come down to 160, you ain't
Man,
gonna talk about.
if I was David Benavidez, I would tell Sam Lukowicz to get on the phone and tell him I'll meet him at 164. No belts on the line, just meet me at 164. Because
No,
I'm
I'll be
gonna
like,
shut your fucking mouth.
and I'll be like, come shut me up at 160, or either shut up till I'm ready, and then maybe we can do a catch weight, or maybe I might come up to 168, and when I finish my business at 160, maybe I might come up to 168 and get you when I'm ready. But I call the shots, not you. You can be in your feelings about what I said about you, but you don't make the fight. I do.
Shit,
That's.
Man,
If
look.
I'm Maul, I come at it with A side energy. Like, I hear you, I see you, but I'm the A side. I actually am the champion. I didn't lose my belt. I have the WBC. You lost it twice.
Yeah, he did. He did lose it twice.
So if I'm Maul, I'm coming at him with that energy, no matter how he feel about it. And people can like it, love it, or hate it, but it's the truth. And that's what I do. And I say, if he's still who he says he is down the line, and I am who I know I am, and I clear out my division and I unify and I'm undisputed at 160, which is my goal, then you know what? Then I'll see you. Right.
Because he
right.
Ain't nobody gonna fight him. And with his skills, he got a nice skill set, but David gonna give him a lot of work. A lot of work. Charlo.
Oh, yeah.
He gonna give him a lot of work.
Look, that is that's a war. Mm-hmm. That would be one of the best fights you could make because Charlo has a chin. David could take a shot. David's got quick hands. Charlo's more athletic. David's the bigger, longer guy. But one thing we haven't seen with David is, body shots. Can, Jamal, I'm pretty sure the strategy would be to go to David's body, get into that soft body. And that soft body may be able to take it, but you got to get through all that fire. You got to get through them ones and twos before you can get to that body. And that's a problem.
Yep.
That's a problem.
Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. Now,
and David is very good with angles too when he throws.
He's very good with angles, but he is susceptible in those ones and twos. You're trying to get to that body, leaving himself open up top. Not a lot of great head movement. You shoot something upstairs and catch it. So
very true.
There's some openings there. He's not infallible. I see some holes. It's just a matter of can you get through that fire to get there. And so that would be the fight right there. That would be a great fight. But again, both of them have unfinished business at their weight class, and the unfinished business that Jamal has is much longer than the beef or words he's had with Benavidez. Him and Andre been, talking for years. He's been chasing Canelo for years. So if I'm Charlo, I'm like, David Benavidez got to stand in line like everybody else.
Yeah, I hear that, and if I was Maul, like I would just, send him a message or whatever, like, yo, we gonna do our thing sooner or later, but for now, let me focus on. I know what I said and I meant it, and I'm gonna stand on that. But let me get to this division. Let me clear this division out. And he should be worried about doing the same. I get that, but old school, my man's is not gonna let up, and he wants all that fucking smoke. And I know he do.
And he cannot let up. And if I'm Maul, as an old Wally veteran in old school, I let him. I live in his brain. And if he keeps thinking about me instead of thinking about who he's fighting in 168. He might mess around and lose.
Nah, he ain't. Dave fights too angry, and he stays focused. But I know what he wants to do tomorrow, and I know what he looks. I know what he sees when he looks at him. I know what he sees.
I know what he sees. He sees food. He sees food. But you still got to handle your business at 168, and you can't be a 168 pounder obsessed with a 160 pounder. True. You know what I'm saying? You just can't. You can't be. It's not a good strategic move, and it's not good tactically, and it's also not a good look. At some point, people are going to peel off of that and be like, "Okay, we hear you calling out Charlo. We know he's popular, and we know he talk crap about you. Okay, cool, but dude, are you going to get a fight with Caleb Plant? Are you going to get a fight with Canelo? Where's your energy at becoming champion at 168? Where, and eventually that people are going to hit him with that. And, he's going to have to get those fights. Now, if he goes through with Canelo or Caleb Plant, then then he's got the advantage.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens sooner or later. Do you think there's a way to force Golovkin into a fight, like with either one, with Charlo or Andrade?
Triple G will vacate the belt or retire before he fights one of them. But if I'm Charlo, I do this unification, and once I unify, I call out Triple G, and I put a lot of pressure on him. And I I basically put so much pressure on him that I'm like, why won't this guy fight me? I beat the other champions. I beat Andrade. I beat Munguia. Where's Triple G? Why does he keep running?
You heard there was a $30 million offer to him?
Yeah, I heard that. So look, if he's gonna fight Maul, the best time to fight Maul is now, or before somebody gets to him, Derrick James. And I think pulls the rest of the stuff out of him. Like, I'm not saying Ronnie's not doing a bad deal. I'm not saying Ronnie can't teach him more. But the difference is when you look at what Derrick James does, Errol and Jermell, he pulls it out of them. It's like, I know you got more to give. And when you train with me, I'm going to pull it out of you. You can see from how the difference from how they fight to how Maul fight. The other thing is his game plan is better. And then the ability to make adjustments is better in fight is what I'm seeing with the Derrick James fighters. So to me, I would love to see Maul do that. I see Mel getting closer to him, coming in his camp. And let me tell you something. When Mel beats Castano, and he will in dramatic fashion to be undisputed, Maul's gonna be looking like, man, my younger by a few seconds or minutes, a twin baby bro, he getting all the love and the energy, and you know what's gonna come with that? Oh, bam! Then a month later, Earl Spence. Oh, he's got to fight with a 8-weight division icon. Oh, that's another Derrick James guy. So I think that's going to start to weigh on Maul, and people are going to be criticizing his performance with Montiel. People have already been talking, he can't beat Canelo. He can't beat Benavidez. But then you look at a guy like Derrick James, and I think eventually he's going to make the switch. That's what I predict. I predict by next year.
One thing I understand, and well, I wouldn't say understand. One thing I know about Derrick James between Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo, they condition themselves very well. Even in between rounds of sparring, they don't quit. They'll go do something else until the bell is ready to sound, or they'll continue to work. Like after the bell rings, they'll continue to work, and they'll just go light. And then when the bell starts back up, they'll turn it on. And that, if you can do that for 3 to 5 rounds, then that pretty much shows that you have very, very, very good conditioning. And you can improve on it as well. So and right now we're looking at a Errol Spence that weighs 155 from what I understand.
Yeah, he's pretty much on weight to be able to cut that weight easily. I looked at his training. I saw some of the footage today from ES News, Ellie Segback, and I was looking at it, and he was in the gym, man, and he was in shape. He was doing a whole full workout in the gym, getting his shadow boxing on, doing the heavy bag. I see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. I see the knockout punch. I see it. I see exactly what he's doing. And then after that, they were like, what are you doing after this? Oh, after this, I'm hooking up with Blu-ray, strength and conditioning later.
You know it.
So I'm hearing it as like, he's conditioning, the muscle memory's going there. And when I look at what he's doing on the heavy bag, I see what he's doing. I see exactly what he's doing. I can see what he's looking at doing to offset the speed and movement of Pacquiao. I see what he's doing. I see it coming. I ain't gonna say nothing, but I see exactly what he's doing. And if he does it, which I predict he will, it's gonna be nasty.
It's going to, I'm not saying nothing, but what I will say is that
I think we both know what it kind of is gonna be.
The training that he's doing right now is to send Pacquiao out of here. Like it's not the training to like, oh, I'm just going to jab all night and give you what I gave y'all against Danny Garcia. And I was 70 to 80% that night when I fought Danny Garcia. I'm about to fucking beat the fuck out of Manny Pacquiao. I am about to humiliate him.
Yeah, and styles make fights. People don't understand Earl. Earl does he have a style? Yes. But the way he approaches the fight is based on the style and demeanor of the other fighter.
Yeah.
So Danny is a counterpuncher. He's not an aggressor. He's a counterpuncher. So he was there to be jabbed all night and pushed back. And Earl was just defensively responsible. Didn't Danny let him get that left hook off? didn't let the counter punch team off, and he just outpointed him, kept him on the outside, took away the counters, and he did that, and that's the style he took. With Mikey Garcia, again, Mikey Garcia was fighting not to get knocked out. He's a good enough fighter to protect himself to not get knocked out, but he didn't take any chances. Again, but also the other thing, here's the big difference I think what's going to be with this weight, with this camp. Errol's in so much better conditioning already that, you can see Errol gassing out in the Mikey Garcia fight. You can see him getting tired in the Danny Garcia fight. Now that he's much closer to being on weight and he's made the lifestyle changes and he's had more time to recover since that accident, mentally, physically, emotionally, and all of that, and he's going through the strength and conditioning, I just think we're going to see the older Errol Spence, the Leonard Bundu Errol Spence, against Kell Brook Errol Spence.
The wear you down.
That just keeps, just pouring water and watching something dissolve over time. Yeah. I just think it's going to be that guy. Yeah. And that's not good for Manny Pacquiao.
No.
And I think his style is going to be, it's not going to be jab you all night, stay on the outside. I think it's going to be more like Tommy Hearns. I'm going to jab to make you move a certain way. And then this cannon is coming, this left hand is coming. And you think I'm headhunting, but it's going to your body. And the way Pat jumps in and jumps out, Pat got a nice sized head. It's got a good target on it.
Yeah, I wonder why it blew up so big. But anyway, the other part about it is, what was I gonna say? In the event that Manny Pacquiao hits him with a really good shot, you are not going to like what happens next, pimp, because you are going to wake Errol up. And from that point, it is going to be, I am pushing you back for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think people have this fight wrong. People think, well, Manny jumps in and jumps out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, here's my thing. Only if you let him jump in and jump out. I think the way Errol fights, he's going to put pressure on you. Manny's going to try to hop in and hop out. But the reason why that's not as effective, number one, Errol's very good at controlling range and distance. Number two, Errol's not a headhunter. So he's not swinging wild where he's getting caught out of position and then you can catch him with something stupid, much like how Manny caught Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman was headhunting, got caught off balance, and then Manny rushed him like that. You're not going to be able to rush Errol Spence like that. Errol Spence holds his ground. And if you jump in on Errol Spence like that, a jab is going to be right in your face. And if you do slip the jab, he can shoot the unders. His next shot is to the body. So,
or he will step back and jab and just jab to figure out he'll reset. He will reset.
Yeah, he'll reset. He'll jab. He'll mix it up. He'll double jab.
This ain't gonna be no Miguel Cotto. This ain't gonna be no Ricky Hatton. This ain't gonna be none of that. People think, well, he's gonna try to fight Pacquiao. So he's not. He's gonna have a wide stance. He's gonna sit down on his punches. So every time he touches Manny, it hurts. And when Manny gets hit and it hurts, he's gonna get gun shy about all that hopping in and out. If the guy's tagging you, you think twice. You get gun shy. And the thing that other people can't, the other thing that people don't understand is that the angles that Manny is used to catching now, they won't be there because he's fighting a guy that's a southpaw. So they're equal.
Exactly.
The angles won't be there. There will be angles, but trust me, Errol will know what he will know what those angles are. And he will be judging you by his jab. He will be judging the distance very well in that fight.
We know what Manny's game plan is. Freddie Roach and Manny's game plan is to take the angle, right? But not to catch him how they catch an orthodox fighter, but to fire off a bunch of flurries, let the crowd go wild like he actually landed some punches and did something. Because Errol really parries and catches a lot of punches, and they want to have that look good to the judges and then hop back out. They just want to repeat that all fight long and then say they won the fight. That's their game plan. Or hope maybe they see where he drops a hand or he brings his head somewhere, they can shoot something quick and maybe land one good shot and he covers and they and get out.
If he doesn't do that early, jumping in, darting in, and try to catch Errol in a trade, and if he doesn't knock Errol out early on, it's a wrap, pimp. It's a wrap because you're gonna do it one too many times, and Errol is going to compute it, and he's going, all right, that's enough of that.
See, I think he's going to try to go for it early, but here's what I think Errol's going to do. Number one thing they're going to try to take away his jab. but they're not going to be able to take away his jab. That's the problem.
That
See,
jab ain't going nowhere.
I don't even think it's going to be with him being able to jump in. That jab, Errol Spence will throw more jabs in this fight than he has in any fight. The jab is going to preoccupy Manny so much. He thinks Errol's just there, and the jab stays there. No, the jab's going to be here. The jab's going to be down there. The jab's going to be everywhere. Everywhere. The jab's going to be everywhere. And the whole time he's preoccupied with that jab, that fucking left hand. And Oscar De La Hoya had a very good point about Manny Pacquiao. He has a tail when he's about to jump in.
He puts his hands up like that. They spread out.
And boom. And we all know, because we saw from Marquez, Manny jumps in irresponsibly. He's always gotten away with it because he's so quick and nothing ever comes back. The problem with Spence is he's going to hold his ground, he's going to jump in, and I think Errol is going to catch and shoot.
Yeah.
I think Manny's going to come in, I think Errol's going to absorb, catch, and I think he's going to shoot. Now, he's not going to do what a lot of guys do. A lot of guys try to swing wild against Pacquiao. I think he's going to catch, and I think he's going to shoot.
I think he'll step, or be stepping back when he do it. I don't.
Yeah, he may step back. I think he's going to hold his ground. I think he's going to hold his ground. He's going to bully the old man, and just to say, you can't even hop in. I'm just going to walk right through you. I think that's what he's going to do.
Every time, I have a feeling every time, excuse me, every time Manny gets hit with that jab, he's going to try to reset and step around, and it's just going to be
not work.
It's he's going to be there.
And that's a problem. And I 100% agree with you. Errol's going to double, triple up that jab. He's going to touch him. And we all know that's problematic. Floyd Mayweather showed it. You touched him. He doesn't keep going. He stops. He resets. He gets in this jumping rhythm again until he's ready to jump in again.
And while you're doing that, a jab's going to hit you, and then another jab, and another jab,
and a body shot. That's the part. Errol's not going to stop. The punches, he's training to just punches. Punches.
Man, listen.
And
Blu-ray said, all I need is 3 days a week with Errol, and I can get him there. He said, if he ever give me more than that, y'all ain't gonna never stop him. But all I need right now is 2 or 3 days with him. Boy, I had this conversation earlier. It wasn't really a debate because we were just talking. It didn't get out of hand. But with the person I was talking with, they was like, man, you just saying that because you just like Errol Spence and he black. I'm like, no, I think you get it wrong. Like, I'm a Pacquiao fan. Pacquiao is an all-time great and a warrior of the sport. He's one of the few warriors that we have left. But it's shit about the thing about Errol that y'all don't understand is that Errol isn't like, he's not this extravagant the guy, man. Like, he just does what he's supposed to do. He's like a Terminator. He's like Kawhi Leonard. I know what I have to do, and that's what I'm gonna focus on. Yeah. And the young man said, I'm gonna retire Pacquiao. Like, this is gonna be the fight that retires him. That's not nobody talking shit.
Yeah.
That was when he said it, it wasn't boisterous, it wasn't loud, it wasn't anything of that manner. It was the same way he said about Kell Brook. I'm going to England and I'm going to stop Kell Brook because that's the only way I can win the fight.
The other thing people don't understand is I think it's a bad matchup, not just because of the size. It's not, Pacquiao's fought big guys, but he hasn't fought big, skilled guys.
True.
See, it's a difference. It's a huge difference. Errol Spence is very skilled. Now, he's not flashy like a Terrence Crawford, but he's more fundamentally sound than a Terrence Crawford. It's a different style that he fights. And the thing about him is he doesn't get flustered. He sticks to his game plan, and he's very consistent. And Manny's used to doing something and getting a guy flustered and getting out their game, and they get out of character. I can't remember one fight where Errol Spence was out of character. And the problem is, you say, well, what is his character? Oh, well, I got to find a way to get inside because, he's going to keep it that range, and I'm going to fight him inside. Ask Sean Porter how that went when he took that clean shot on the chin and fell on his knee, and he got up, and he was in great shape and recovered quickly, but that was not a good look on his face when he got caught with that left cross on the jaw because Errol can fight on the inside. So I just think no matter which way you want to go, he's a more well-rounded fighter. He's also a dog. He can take some shots. He can give some shots. And
Poised.
he's poised and he's going to stay focused. He doesn't let the highs get too high. He don't let the lows get too low. He just steady and he
If
just
y'all
keeps
don't, if y'all don't believe,
coming.
just go watch the Kell Brook fight. When
Yeah,
Kell Brook hit him with a couple of shots, Errol just went, you know what? Instead of getting out of character, I'm just gonna mow the guy down so y'all see what I'm talking about.
yeah,
I don't have to get out of character to get this guy. I'm gonna do it in a disciplined fashion. And slowly
yeah.
but surely, he just wore his ass out.
Yeah, and that's the thing. To me, he's one of the most disciplined fighters out there in the game. He's just
Whew.
very disciplined, and I think that's the thing that's going to frustrate people. Think Manny's going to frustrate Errol. I think it's the other way around. I think it's the consistency and the discipline of Spence and his style that's going to frustrate the hell out of Manny.
You said one of the key things though. Manny's fought big guys, but not big guys that are skilled and can keep
Not
up
big
with him.
guys that are skilled, and
Nope.
let alone this is not just a skill guy. This is a skilled southpaw. So all the angles and advantages that Manny's had before are completely nullified. It's like fighting in the mirror. And so the problem with that is you got a guy who's bigger, stronger, maybe not faster. I would definitely say has really good timing, gauges distance very well, and being Pacquiao being a smaller guy, it's all about you. Your whole game is predicated on coming in and out of distance. And now you're fighting one of the best fighters who gauges distance. I just think it's a really, really bad matchup. And the last thing I'll say is Errol shoots shots everywhere. He is not a headhunter. He is a body snatcher. And when you fight body snatchers, the problem is the head can move, but the body can't.
Can't get
And
none over.
when he starts taking that body, here's Pacquiao's problem. You take away that movement, Pacquiao is a sitting duck. And I think what we're going to see is, I think for the first time, we're going to see somebody punish Pacquiao to the body so much, it's going to really, really change his movement. And then you'll see he is a completely different fighter without bouncing on those big calves that he has, bouncing all around, because I think Errol's going to beat that out of him.
Salute to Pacquiao. I heard his regimen is like 10,000 sit-ups a day or whatever it is.
Yeah,
Salute
he's
to
a
you for
warrior.
doing that. You know, like
He's
you're one of a kind, but you're
yeah,
gonna need it.
yeah.
You're
He's
gonna need it.
conditioning himself because he knows the punishment is coming and he knows it's going to come there. He's smart. He knows, oh, the guy's going to go to my body. He's not a headhunter. The jab's going to be there. I just got to find an angle. I got to find a sliver where I can outquick him and deliver a shot punch. Maybe I catch it with something he can't see and hurt him.
If I was in Manny's corner, I would be telling him it's okay to throw punches and bunches like you do, but we need to
Mm-hmm.
we need to make these body shots count, like when we're throwing them,
Exactly.
because Manny is mostly he's going for the head. He's mostly going for the
Yeah.
head. But in this fight, man, it just everything that we love about Manny, the warrior,
Mm-hmm.
and all that
Mm-hmm.
shit is going to get beat out of him.
Yeah. And I know they want to go to the body, but here's a problem. You go down the body, you leave the head exposed. And I just think the height differential, the way Errol shoots his hooks, you know, he's here, he's here, he's here. You know, he can come under, he can shoot straight, he come with that left hook. And I think I'll go ahead and say what I saw on the heavy bag. He's trimming the fat off his some of his punches, especially with the left hand. He's trimming the fat off of it so it gets there quicker, it's sharper, and not as wide. And
Oh yeah.
I think I see what he's doing because he's doing it behind the jab. And I see what he's doing, and he's delivering it with some nasty intentions.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what's gonna hurt Pacquiao.
Yeah. Listen, if I came into camp right now and I'm 158 and only got 11 pounds to lose, I'm basically doing
It's bad, bro. It's
I
bad.
wish you all
It's
understood
bad.
this shit, man.
And
Listen,
what I like about it is, and what people don't understand is that when you in shape like that, and you have such little weight to gain to lose, and then when you rehydrate, you don't blow up. But when you do, you fill in really nicely and compact because you're
yeah,
already in shape.
yeah,
So everything that you've done as you rehydrate is coming back in a shapely form,
yeah.
and you're really compact. And I just think that's going to be a problem
And Errol is
for
WBC and IBF, right?
he's WBC and IBF unified champion.
Okay, so IBF does have the weight clause or whatever where you can't hydrate. So
10 pounds. But because it's a unified, I don't think he has to go by the IBF rules because it's not an IBF only fight.
okay,
Because
okay,
the WBC has different rules. So I think when it's IBF only, you can't be 10 pounds more than
I think it
You pay
still
me more.
stands. I think it might still stand, but whatever it is, he's gonna be on target, and he's not gonna be worried about that. He's not gonna be worried
Yeah.
about that.
I mean, I would say that he's going to make weight when he comes in the ring fight night. He'll be 160.
Yeah, maybe,
He'll be a middleweight.
maybe.
He'll be a middleweight when he comes in the ring, but he's going to be a very in shape and cut up middleweight.
And he's going to be angry.
Yeah. Yeah,
Angry.
definitely. And what I just found out today is that the WBA is not granting Manning the WBA belt. So this will not be a unification. The WBA it's just a fight. I heard this.
So they're gonna let Ugas keep that then.
So Ugas is not only going to keep it, but he's going to fight on the undercard. He's going to be a co. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're not giving Manny the WBA, which is weird because you would think they want some of those sanctioning fees.
And to be paying him 30, 40 million?
I don't know, bro. Maybe the WBA knows something we don't know that's coming down the line. I don't know. I thought it was weird. So the rumor is now that Bob Arum was trying to get Jose Cepeda, and he keeps trying to have put Bud up against these 140 pounders, like he's still undisputed in 140. Didn't realize he didn't get the memo that he's a 147 at welterweight. The rumor is now Bud is really trying to push. Well, man, I can get some leverage back if I can get them to the belt. So now the rumor is Bud is trying to get to fight Ugas. The problem with that is that here's where Bud is screwed up. If Bud would have left Top Rank, he'd have been cool because Bud is going to fight in October. Bob Arum already said it. October 23rd is when Bud is fighting. He's fighting, and so he can't fight on this card to get to Ugas. And he definitely wouldn't get the next fight because if Errol beats Pacquiao, Errol's next fight is going to be the winner between Ugas and whoever Ugas fights to go get that other strap.
You damn right.
Once again, even the WBA help if he gets a fortuitous situation with the belt with the WBA, Bud can't do anything about it.
So wait. So if Ugas is fighting, who is he fighting then?
We don't know yet. Now we know everybody's trying to petition. There was rumors that you might have a Sean Porter versus Keith Undis fight.
Oh,
right.
Damn.
So they're position they're trying to get in the card, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think now the calculus has changed. Everybody's going to be trying to get the Ugas because they're going to be like,
I think it should be Sean Porter, man. Just make the rematch.
Yeah, so I think that's what they're trying to do. It's either going to be, look, Ugas already turned down Boots, right? So we knew that was going to happen. So now it's either going to be Sean Porter in the rematch with Ugas, which is a close fight. I actually thought Ugas won that fight. Sean Porter has the advantage because Keith Thurman is coming off a loss. Granted, he's coming off a loss to Pacquiao, but he's still coming off a loss. Sean Porter fought a tough fight with Errol Spence, and he fought a tough close fight with Ugas. They might let them, go for it again. My money would be Porter might get that opportunity, but something's telling me, man, the WBA got something cooking.
That you had to.
Something's telling me it's going to be somebody from the outside. It ain't going to be Bud. Something's telling me somebody else is going to get that opportunity.
You think it would be like Jose Ramirez or something like that they would throw in there?
Nah, Jose Ramirez is coming off a loss, and Jose Ramirez is one of the guys in the running for Bud. But I think if they say it's going to be Zepeda, because Ramirez is not going to get it. He's coming off a loss.
Wait. Zepeda is at 140, bro.
I know. Bob Arum is saying Zepeda wants to move to 147, and Zepeda's most likely. So the three fighters was Jose Ramirez, who just lost to Josh Taylor, Jose Zepeda, and Regis Prograis. Those are the three guys Bob Arum says are in the running to fight Terence Crawford in October. All 140 pounders.
Man, Bud, do you know how silly this shit look, man? You fighting 140-pound fighters. Listen, I'm getting frustrated because I was backing Bud fucking Crawford, man. This is ridiculous.
Hey, I sent you that link. Big ups to BFTB Boxing. He was hilarious. He was like, "Oh, you know what? All the Bud lovers, you're right. He is fighting top 10 guys, just not at 147."
Right. If you're gonna fight Zepeda, why not just go down to 140 then? Doing that crazy shit.
What he said was, well, why don't he fight Ryan Garcia? He in the top 10. Hey, Ryan Garcia was gonna fight Pacquiao. Hey, go fight somebody from flyweight in the top 10, just so you can say you fought a ranked guy. But he's not fighting any real welterweights. But you know, again, is
Man,
Bob
let me
Arum.
just say something while it's on remembrance, man. Danny Garcia has a better record at 140 than you do.
I said it, yeah. Better, yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. And at 147, Danny Garcia has a better record at 147 than you do. And I'm a Bud lover or whatever they Bud tender or whatever they're calling it. I
He can
fuck with
fight.
Bud.
Yeah,
Bud can fight.
but some bad decisions, man. Some bad decisions. Some of the worst decisions I've ever seen by a fighter, or his camp or whatever you want to call it. But it's bad, man. If Errol is fighting Manny Pacquiao and you're fighting Jose Ramirez, Jose Zepeda, or Regis Prograis, no disrespect to any of those three guys, but damn.
It's no disrespect for them. It's just disrespectful, like we said before. It's dishonest to us as boxing fans and people who have a boxing acumen and know what we're looking at and we understand it. For the outside people, the casuals that don't care, they just see their guy fighting. For us, it doesn't make sense for a 140 pounder to go jump up to 147 and fight. You're supposed to be the champ.
Yeah.
You're the champ.
There's only one guy at 140 pounds. It makes sense to move up and get a championship opportunity and fight Bud, and that's Josh Taylor.
That's
it. It's the only guy. Nobody else at 140, it doesn't make remotely any sense, and they shouldn't get the opportunity. But Josh Taylor would deserve the opportunity, and he wants to fight him. The problem is that he's got a mandatory. He's got to fight with Jack Catterall, and he's fighting. So obviously that fight's going to be missed. And then obviously, what happens with Bud, because he's got one fight left with Top Rank, obviously in October, and that's the end of his contract. So does he re-up? Does he go to PBC or the other welterweights are? He's not coming to PBC.
No,
if he didn't come to PBC back then, he ain't going there now. So he's going to duck the smoke. So now the whole rumor is he's going to, what's the people over in Dubai or the UK, whatever that group
MTK.
is. MTK Global or whatever. It's still more nonsense, but I don't know, man.
Man, but what the fuck are you doing, dog? Like, you got to get in the mix of this shit, man. Come on, bro.
He's gonna go over to the zone and follow in Canelo's footsteps and do a European tour. That's what he's gonna do.
He's gonna go over there and get fucked like Andre is currently getting fucked sideways with both legs up, bro. Like, what are you doing, man? This shit is ridiculous. God damn it, man.
Zepeda, bro. Jose Zepeda, to me, who barely beat Hank Lundy. All right, and also, I know you know this, Jose Zepeda lost to Jose Ramirez in 2019. He did.
He beat Ramirez, right?
No, Jose Ramirez beat Jose Zepeda.
Okay. I thought Zepeda on. No, you know what? You're right.
He beat Zepeda. Zepeda's got 2 losses.
Yeah, you're right.
The only loss Ramirez has, obviously, is to Josh Taylor. So that's just all those guys are flawed. So you look at Regis Prograis, he lost to Josh Taylor. He lost the belt to Josh Taylor. You look at Jose Ramirez, he lost to Josh Taylor. You look at Jose Zepeda, he lost to Jose Ramirez. So it's just diminishing returns. And out of the 3 guys on the list, Bob is talking about the guy in the weakest position, which is Zepeda.
Just throwing you food, man. Just throwing anything out there to keep. And here's the other part. As a champion, how was that even a top selling fight? Like, how do you even sell that to people? Bud Crawford. Jose Zepeda. Like, how do you even sell some shit like that, man? Yo, you being what? Stockholm syndrome. Anyway, off that, man. Like, I'm just happy.
No. I'm not gonna get off that real quick. I'm gonna have to say the 2 guys who visually we see the skills, but the 2 guys who go back and forth, being number 1, number 2 on the pound for pound list, have, to me, the worst resumes in their last 4 to 5 fights. That would be Canelo Alvarez, and that would be Bud Crawford. Think about that. Go to BoxRec, look at both of them, look at their last 5 fights.
But you know what the lovers will say? The lovers will say for Canelo, he fought champions.
Avni Yildirim was not a champion.
But that's what they're going to say, bro. They're going to say that he was the number 1 contender. And he wasn't. He was number 3. But that's what they're going to say, bro. That's what they're gonna say. They're gonna say that guy was a number one contender, and he wasn't. He was number 2 or 3. David Benavidez was number 1.
Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, who really a 160 pounder who bloated up to 168 and kind of got an odd belt.
Because he too fucking big. He can't even keep his weight off.
Keep the weight down. So it's like, come on, man. It's trash. It's all trash.
To anybody that's a Canelo fan or a fan of boxing, let me ask you a question. Put the top guys at 160 or 168 against Canelo's last 5 fights, and who will win? I think Jamal Charlo slays everybody on that list.
Benavidez does.
I think Benavidez. I think they all quit before round 5.
Yeah, he knocks them all out. They stop. I think Jermell Charlo beats all of them.
Yes,
and he's at 154.
Yes,
I think Jermell beats all of them.
Yes.
Yo, you want to go there? I think Errol Spence beats all the guys.
I think he stops him. And he's at
147. So it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Errol not having to train and lose all that weight. He would love that shit to just freely throw punches.
He could be a left-handed tank.
Yeah,
he could.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have to cut the weight. So man. I don't see how these guys. I've taken both of them out of my pound for pound.
Yeah, I would put Mel at the top. Mel Charlo would be, even with the bullshit that he doing out here saying or whatever. I think I would have him number 2.
I got Earl at the top. I got Mel after that. The reason why I got Earl is because Earl's competition in his last 5 fights is better names. It's better names than Mel's.
Okay.
It's better names. Now, Mel has been impressive. He's about to be undisputed if he beats Castano. But again, I think Rosario, Castano, Lubin, I just think Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. I just think those guys have accomplished more in the sport than the guys that Mel beat.
Okay.
And so I'm gonna put Earl at 1 because he's faced top competition. He's faced guys that people,
and their records show that they're great fighters.
Their records show. These guys are all champions. So to me, he's number 1.
Damn. So if we did that, so if it would, Errol Spence, Jermell Charlo, either way you want to flip it. So then what would you do next? Would you go, excuse me?
In a way.
Okay. Or so him, or would you put Josh Taylor there?
I'm putting Inouye there.
Okay.
I'm putting Inouye there because when I think about Josh Taylor, the best 2 names on Josh Taylor's resume is Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis. If I take his 2 best guys and put them up against those other guys ahead of him, they got 2 guys that are better than the 2 guys that he beat.
True.
That's how I look at it. To me, you're as good as your competition. So Josh Taylor's in there. He's probably, let me see. So I would have, Earl, Mel, Inouye. Who would be 4? I would probably have, I might even put Better Biev in there, dog. He's unified at 175.
He's unified. Okay. But when you look at his last 5 fights, what would you say?
True. You got a point there. I would have put Josh Taylor over Better Biev in terms of 2 best guys. His fights are about to come now in terms of the top comp at 175 with Better Biev, so we'll see. So I would put Taylor above Better Biev. That's true.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If it was me, I would probably, if I did a pound for pound, I wouldn't go past like maybe 5 to 7 people because 10 is just 10 is you just scratching and throwing names in there. Because I saw somebody put Alexander Usyk on there, even though he's an awesome fighter. It's very good. He was undisputed.
Yeah, but he undisputed.
And that's the other problem. It's not much on that list to beat. And then, now you're up at heavyweight and we're looking at you going, can you really fuck with these heavyweights?
Yeah, I mean, the only guy he's fought is Chisora, right? So that's not enough. So
And you
Usyk's
kind of
not there.
you kind of moved out of his way for the majority of that fight.
I would have to give Tank a strong look to be on there.
Well, I already felt like Tank should be on there. The only thing about Tank is I would like to see him in there with the actual champions that hold the belts at 130 or 135. Like the guy that he has a belt, but he hasn't fought the best of the best. So
no, he hasn't yet. I mean, you know, it's like, is he gonna stay at 140? To me, he can't. I don't think he can ever make 130 again. So I think that's a wrap.
I think he can. I think he can. I think this is just me. This is just me talking. I don't know shit. All right. I think this whole fight at 140 was because Tank asked for it, and he wanted to see what was going to happen between Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, Devin Haney. He was watching, trying to see what was going to happen with that shit. And he was like, well, while they figure that out, I'll go up.
Yeah.
And then what happened was all this shit kind of blew up. Ryan Garcia showed that he's really a chicken a duck, and he quacks a lot. And Teofimo doesn't know what he wants to do, and he wants to duck out the way of anybody that can actually put a whooping on him. So,
yeah. To me, he got to end up at 135. After Barrios, there's not another big fight. There's not really. You can do that one time, you can run it again. There's no other fight for him at 140,
unless he fight Prograis.
Unless he fights Prograis, which is like, yeah, you could do it. I guess you could do it as filler. We'd watch it. You know, yeah, we'd watch it. But there's no belt, right? There's no belt there. Prograis's not a champion.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's the thing. And so you'll always be underneath Josh Taylor, who's undisputed, you know, and you still got the other guys on the list. So I don't even know about that one. I can see there's a few guys he could definitely pick off and beat at 140. But if you're not going to come for the throne, what's the point in being there?
So I mean, that's not for the throne. Like he's.
I know what I'm saying. Like to me, then you got to fight Josh Taylor. You're Tank Davis. You gonna fight Josh Taylor? I don't think he fights Josh Taylor.
I think he would lose to Josh Taylor. That's just me.
I think he would definitely lose to Josh Taylor. I think he would definitely lose to Josh Taylor without a doubt. Too big, too skilled, and he's a southpaw too. So I think you know that's the key. That's just that's not a good matchup for Tank. He would just pick Tank apart from the outside all night long and keep him on the outside. Keep him at the end of the jab and then run him into left hands. That's all he would do all day long.
Yep.
You know, if you think that uppercut with Jose Ramirez is, you know, he would hit Tank with those. He just would. So,
Teofimo, if you thought you were going to really sell some tickets, man, why don't you go check out the Tank Davis fight?
Yes, very few tickets left for that fight.
Man, bro.
Yeah.
You want to be a seller? Go check out the Deontay Wilder fight. I tried to purchase a ticket in the second section, and it was $800 for the ticket.
Yeah.
In the second, you can't sell a chicken dinner at a Sunday church service, pimp.
Yeah, and that Errol Pacquiao fight is going to be ridiculous too, man. Because you know that's going to be. I think that's going to be at the Raiders Stadium, man. They're going to have to do it there to me.
Oh, so they haven't announced where it is officially.
Yeah, they just said Vegas. You know, same thing with Wilder and them. They haven't announced the site. They just keep saying Vegas.
Interesting.
Arena.
Interesting.
The Raiders Stadium. It's just Vegas. So I think both fights can end up there. I mean, if you're the Raiders, I do it. Look at the revenue. Those are the two biggest fights of the year. Period.
What?
Not even close.
What? Before the season starts, and you get to bring in money?
And you say we hosted the heavyweight championship of the world. And we hosted, you know, an icon, a future president of the Philippines.
Imagine that. Imagine saying
president of the Philippines and the unified welterweight champion and a pound for pound guy as well, and Errol Spence. We had two major title fights at two of the very popular divisions in boxing, heavyweight and welterweight.
Yes.
Are two like historically. Those are just like.
The top guys in the divisions fought.
Yeah. So to me, it's a no-brainer. If I'm Mark Davis, if I'm Davis, I'm like, bring those fights here.
Yeah. I wonder if it was a situation where they were probably like, well, let's just clear the slate, see what we got going on, see how we do this with the COVID protocol. But hopefully they figure that shit out soon. They got a month to I'll say 2 to 3 weeks to announce who for.
Yeah, I
or
mean,
at
I
least
think for
the
the Wilder
Fury
Fury
fight.
fight, they're gonna for the Wilder Fury fight, they have probably about a couple weeks. For the Pac and Spence fight, they probably got a month.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Hey man, this boxing shit is easy to keep talking about. You said
Yeah,
30
I
minutes. So
know. I know, man. We just ran over. I know, but yeah, it's
yeah,
easy. We keep going,
I'm gonna
but
let
yeah,
you go
man.
ahead and get
It's
off here because we can keep on
cool, no
going,
doubt,
man.
no doubt.
Appreciate you,
We'll get another
man.
one in soon, no
Yes,
doubt.
sir. Yep. On to the next one, bro.
Cool. All right, peace.